Have you ever felt like you're living someone else's life? Or maybe you found yourself stuck in a routine that you didn't even consciously choose, weighed down by expectations, obligations, and habits that don't make sense anymore. What if I told you that it's entirely possible to disappear, not by running away from life, but by shedding the layers that no longer serve you, and re-emerge as someone completely new, someone who reflects your true self and deepest desires? That's what we're diving into today. How to disappear and transform yourself. And let me be clear from the start. Disappearing isn't about abandoning responsibilities or ghosting the world. It's about stepping into your power, rewriting your story, and aligning your outer life with your inner truth. Most people stay stuck because they feel that transformation has to be a slow, incremental process. They believe that change happens in small steps, and while that's true to an extent, there's another way to look at it. What if you could drastically accelerate that change? What if you could reinvent yourself in a much more profound, rapid way by disappearing from the old you? In a sense, think of this as the ultimate reset, where you let go of the identity that has been constructed over years of conditioning and expectations, both from others and from yourself. Let's start by talking about why you might want to disappear. It's a common feeling, dissatisfaction with life as it is. You might feel unfulfilled in your career, relationships, or personal growth. Maybe you're stuck in a cycle of habits that don't reflect who you really are. Over time, you might have adopted identities to please others, fit into societal expectations, or just because life swept you along without giving you time to breathe. The version of yourself you're living now is likely a reflection of old decisions, habits, and expectations that no longer align with who you truly are. Imagine being able to strip away all of that and start fresh, not just superficially, but from the core of who you are. This is about disappearing in a symbolic sense, letting go of the version of yourself that no longer serves you, stepping back from the distractions and allowing your true self to emerge. The first place to start this transformation is your mindset. We all know that real change begins from within. If you're carrying limiting beliefs, you'll find it nearly impossible to transform because those beliefs will constantly pull you back to your old patterns. Here's something I want you to think about. How many of your thoughts are on autopilot? Most of the time, we're thinking the same thoughts over and over again. Those thoughts build a mental cage, and you can't escape it without challenging those patterns. Here's where it gets interesting. The stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of are often not even your own. You've probably adopted them from parents, teachers, friends, or society. Maybe you've been telling yourself, "I'm not good enough," or "I can't change at this stage in my life." These are stories, nothing more. They aren't facts, they aren't written in stone, and they can be rewritten. The next step in disappearing is to physically and mentally detox from your environment. This is a huge one that many people overlook. Think about it. You're not just a product of your mind, you're also a product of your environment. The people you spend the most time with, the routines you follow, and even the media you consume all contribute to who you are becoming. If you're constantly surrounded by people who don't support your growth, or you're stuck in an environment that feels stifling, it's almost impossible to transform. Now, I'm not saying you need to pack up and move to the mountains, although for some, a drastic change of scenery can be a catalyst for personal transformation. But you do need to take a close look at your surroundings. Does your environment reflect the person you want to become? If not, it's time to make changes. Start by creating an environment that nurtures growth, creativity, and positivity. Another powerful way to disappear from the old you is to disconnect from the digital world. We live in a hyper-connected society where social media, emails, and notifications constantly pull us away from ourselves. While we're busy scrolling through other people's lives, we forget to live our own. If you really want to transform, you need to create space for reflection, self-discovery, and personal growth. And that means you've got to get comfortable with being disconnected. Try this. Set aside time to do a digital detox. I'm talking about unplugging from your phone, stepping away from social media, and just being with yourself. Yes, it's uncomfortable at first. The urge to check your phone might feel unbearable, but this space is where the magic happens. When you're no longer bombarded by external input, you start to hear your own thoughts, desires, and dreams more clearly. This disconnection allows you to reconnect with what truly matters. As you create this space for yourself, you'll start to notice a shift. You'll realize that transformation is not just about getting rid of the old, but embracing the new. This is where you get to decide who you want to become. Who is the version of you that you aspire to be? What does that person think, feel, and do differently? Visualize it. Think about how that version of you carries themselves in the world. What kind of habits do they have? What is their morning routine like? How do they handle challenges? One of the most effective ways to transform yourself is to start acting as if you're already that person. Even if it feels awkward at first, begin incorporating the habits and behaviors of your future self. Here's something people often overlook. Your identity is fluid. We often think we are who we are and that change is a slow, incremental process. But the truth is, you can make a dramatic shift in how you see yourself and how others see you by consciously choosing a new identity. The key is to act consistently in alignment with that identity until it becomes second nature. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to transform from someone who struggles with procrastination to someone who is highly productive and disciplined. You don't wait until you magically become productive to start behaving that way. Instead, you start small. You set tiny, achievable goals, and you follow through. You adopt the habits of a productive person, even if it feels like a stretch at first. Over time, those actions compound, and you become the person you aspire to be. Now, I want to talk about something really important: the power of radical change. There's a time for small steps, but sometimes the most effective way to transform is to take a massive leap. What would happen if you made a drastic, bold move? Maybe it's changing careers, starting a business, moving to a new city, or letting go of a long-term relationship that's been holding you back. Radical changes have the power to shake up your life in ways that small, incremental changes can't. Yes, it's terrifying, but it's also exhilarating. There's a saying, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. By taking a leap into the unknown, you force yourself to grow in ways that you never could have imagined. You discover strengths and capabilities that have been lying dormant, just waiting for the right opportunity to emerge. Let's not forget one last crucial piece: rebuilding your social circle. The people you spend the most time with have a massive influence on your life. If you're serious about transformation, you've got to align yourself with people who support your growth. This doesn't mean you need to completely ditch your old friends, but you do need to be intentional about who you allow into your inner circle. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and push you to become the best version of yourself. If you can't find those people in your immediate surroundings, don't worry. Seek out communities, online or offline, that align with your new path. Join mastermind groups, attend personal development events, or even take part in online forums where like-minded individuals share their journeys. Your network is one of your greatest assets, so nurture it wisely. In conclusion, disappearing and transforming yourself isn't about escape. It's about rebirth. It's about letting go of the old, outdated version of yourself and stepping boldly into a new identity that's aligned with your truest self. By clearing your mind, auditing your environment, disconnecting from distractions, adopting a new identity, embracing radical change, and surrounding yourself with the right people, you'll unlock the power to reinvent yourself in ways you never thought possible. Transformation isn't just a possibility, it's your birthright. So what are you waiting for? Your new life is waiting for you to claim it. It's time to disappear from the old and re-emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned than ever before. Now go out there and create the life you deserve.